Happy Thursday to you, good people. Good evening, good evening, good evening. What is happening? My name is Marcus Thomas. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. We are in it to win it. Another day, another dollar. We keep grinding. We keep growing. That's what's up. What's going on, folks? Cody K, number one out the limo. Project Baby 24. What's up, bro? Let me get a wrench. Project Baby, I will do that. Let me see. You know what? I don't even know if I have set that up yet. I gotta honestly, I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna have to ask Tone about that. I will definitely do that. So Hall and Matters. Yeah. Yeah, some interesting some interesting things going down. That is a good question. What's good, Chris? Project Baby, I am curious as well with the news about Isaiah Rodgers. That makes more sense. Yeah, Cody K, as of today, anyways, Isaiah Rodgers was not reinstated. He was not. There were others, 5 others that were suspended for gambling. He was not. Let me see. Hold on. Let me bring you into this. The NFL is reinstating 5. This is Tom Palacero. The NFL is reinstating 5 players who were suspended indefinitely last year for violating the gambling policy. Quintez Cephas from the Lions, safety C.J. Moore, defensive lineman Demetrius Taylor, Commanders wide receiver Shaka Toney, and linebacker Rashad Berry. Isaiah Rodgers was not reinstated. There is not a reason given. I don't know. However, I did see something. Let me see if I can find this again, where they were talking about the policy is going to start if you're caught betting on games, which is what Isaiah Rodgers did. Even though he says he was doing it for friends, and whether you believe that or not is a whole nother conversation. But out of his own admittance, he was betting for friends, and there were a couple of games that the Colts played, I believe, that he put like bets on, or just like parlays, or however that works. So the going into effect, I believe next year, it's going to be a 2-year ban. So I don't know if they're giving him a little extra belt for this going on. I do not know. I am sure Roger Goodell is going to get asked about this. So I don't know. I know they don't want to, put a stain on the, the draft coming up and all of that kind of stuff. Let me see. Was it this one? The NFL is reinstating 5 players who were suspended indefinitely for violating. Tony Rodgers was the only name missing from the list, and that should be concerning for Philadelphia since the talented cornerback was suspended around the same time. Yeah, all this happened around the same time. Rodgers stated that most of the bets were between $25 and $50 and included wagers related to Colts games. Rodgers confirmed. One was a Jonathan Taylor's over-under rushing yards prop bet. The NFL's revised rules on gambling state that there is now a minimum of a 2-year suspension if a player bets on an NFL game involving his team, something that Rodgers did. The suspensions were part of a more harsh crackdown on gambling last offseason, with the league banning players from betting on any sport if the players are placing bets at the team facility, which is, kind of suspect, but it is what it is. Those is the rules, as they say. You know what, Chris? Here's what I'll say. I don't know the answer to your question. I don't know why they do it to themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, if it was that simple, they wouldn't. But I think there is a mechanism in play where, appreciate that, Mike, in play where the NFL is watching all of this. And you got to understand, NFL's got deep pockets and they've got deep investigative pockets. So if you want to find the burner phone that was bought by your play cousin and given to his sister to place a prop bet for you, they're going to find that, 4, 5, and 6 degrees of separation from you and kind of backtrack. And you look at every sport. You look at what just happened with Ohtani in baseball. You look at what just happened. What's the kid's name? NBA gambler. What's the guy that just got suspended? Lifetime ban. What's his name? Raptors player. Jonte Porter. Thank you, Chris. Jonte Porter just got banned for life for gambling. So it's in all of the sports. It's in all of the sports. Yes, it is very hypocritical, in my opinion, but this is nothing new. This is nothing new. When I was with the Eagles in 93, way back in the early 90s, every locker room had some huge sign about tobacco, using tobacco. They didn't want you using tobacco. And you know what the guys did? They snuck it in because you had guys from the South that were used to dipping. And listen, I went to school in Eastern Kentucky. I was in Richmond, Kentucky, a half hour from the University of Kentucky. We were knee deep in the South, right? So there was a lot of guys on my team that used to dip and spit and have spit cups all the time, but they did not want that stuff in the NFL. And there were signs everywhere about tobacco. And people would find a way to sneak it in. So it's not anything new. It's bigger now because of gambling. And again, I'm from Cincinnati. Do I need to bring up Pete Rose? Pete Rose was one of my heroes growing up in Cincinnati. So, okay, that's a very good point. I did not realize that. The only thing I saw last year, not last year, the only thing I saw in the reports that he was suspended around the same time. That is a good point. That is a very valid point. So if it has not, my fault for not vetting that a little bit more. If it has not been a calendar year, that makes sense. That makes sense. So let's just say I hope you are correct, sir. I hope you are correct. But valid point. I was not aware of the exact date. So technically that should be good news. Because that means it could still be coming. And it would make sense. And it would make sense. I appreciate that, him. But yeah, man, it is becoming a much bigger thing around the leagues because it is just weird. They're trying to get rid of it, but FanDuel and all of these other companies are paying mad money to get these endorsements. Mad money. And this is anytime you have become a major player in professional sports, let's be real. Most people don't give a damn about Vegas anymore. They go to FanDuel and I can't even name the other website. What are the other betting apps out there besides FanDuel. FanDuel's obviously the biggest one because, in my opinion, they got the most visible market share, right? So I don't know. I do find it weird. 5 other players were reinstated already. Like, not like those 5 guys got suspended on the same date, but him, I don't know. But like, your point still makes sense. So I remember it all happening around the same time, but you got to think about it like the NFL's got to go through each case, and they're not going to all do it on the same day. So that makes sense. Let me see. Honestly, I can only stand if they have an addiction, but other than that, I can only say that they're around dumb influences. Listen, I used to tell these things to my teenagers when I used to teach Bible study. I tell it to grown folks. You can only make a mistake one time. Once. You can only make a mistake one time. A mistake means you didn't have all of the information. You did your best job looking at the situation, trying to figure out. You don't have all of the information. So based on what you saw, you took your best guess. Maybe you should have went left, but you went right. That's a mistake. What these guys are doing are making bad decisions. There is a difference. A decision is you got all the information that you need. They know without no misunderstanding that the NFL and all these other pro leagues do not want you betting on the sport. That is not up for interpretation. That is crystal clear. So when these guys do that, and like I said, they contact their play cousin and buy a burner phone to give it to the play cousin's ex-wife's cousin that's 3 states away, the NFL can find that stuff out because you got to remember, everybody's got receipts. Everybody's got receipts because it's going to a bank account. Something is going to happen, and the NFL has got investigative pockets. They can figure that stuff out. You think the NFL don't have an IT department that can reverse engineer all of that kind of stuff and see where it's going? Yes, there's ways to get around it. But clearly, a lot of these guys ain't thinking about it or not thinking that deep. They just think they can get away with it and have some friend or buy a burner phone and they getting caught up. They are getting caught up. What you gonna tell them? So, if it was if it was that simple to avoid it, more people would, to be honest with you. But for some reason, it's not. That's an addiction just like anything else. Somebody smoking weed, fentanyl, all of that kind of stuff. It manifests differently, physical, psychological, emotional, different things like that. But you think about some of the things that these people do because they got to make that money. Look at how much trouble that dude must have been in that was representing what's his name? Otai? The baseball player? Otani? This dude was taking money and was up 142 million, but had lost like 160 something. So he still owed 42 million, but just to be up, just to bet to a point where you have won 142 million and you have lost 160 something million just to get to that point. And they said this dude was doing some ungodly amount of bets per day. And you know he was spending stupid money. You know he was spending stupid money. Bow, that's a good question. And let me say this to you. And I had this, I have Philly, what's going on, bro? I I've had this conversation with people before. And I'm talking, when I say people, I'm talking about people that have not played professional sports. And I have to make that distinction because this was years ago. And people that have not played professional sports sometimes like to project their current lifestyle on somebody that makes $12 million a year. And it doesn't relate. It doesn't compute. Just doesn't. And what you have is, I used to get in conversations with people, and of course, this is after they find out that I used to play with the Eagles and this, that, and the other, and what happened to all your money? You spent it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then immediately, once they start the conversation, you can understand the ignorance that they're speaking from. And what would happen is, well, you're rich. What happened to all your money? It's like, well, hold on, dog. I played in 1993 for a rookie minimum, which was $100,000 after taxes. How much is that? You don't understand what you're talking about. But let's project it. Let's say you make $5 million a year. If you make $5 million a year, they hitting you for almost 50%. They're taking you for what, 42, 45% for taxes? But here's the thing. Let's break it down all the way. Do not tell me that if you made $2 million, $3 million, $5 million a year, do not tell me that you would be driving that same Honda Accord. It's not the same. Do not tell me you're going to be living in that same house. You might own it, but then you got a family. The kid wants to skateboard. Now that kid that wanted to skateboard is 16, 17 years old. Now he wants the car. And the financial hesitation that you would have does not exist. So your kids say he wants the Beamer, get him the Beamer. One of the funniest conversations I heard was Shaquille O'Neal talking about one of his kids coming up to him talking about, yeah, I want to get a new car because I can drive and I want the Hellcat. It's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? To be able to say that sentence, you know how much a Hellcat costs? And he's like, nah, you ain't getting the Hellcat. You get one of them regular ones. Just totally skipping the fact that one of those regular ones might run you anywhere between 60 to 80. Especially after they put the rims on it and do all the things that they're going to do. Because the money is not an issue. So you can't put themselves in that conversation. What am I talking about? When you ask, why would somebody with money bet like that? Because if you go down to the casino and you place a bet, you put $300-$400 down on the table or gambling or craps or whatever it is you do down there, you multiply that by 10 or 15. And even if you lose it, ain't no sweat off my back. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking about making that much money, if you make that much money, you're going to bet that much money. How do you make all of that money in pro sports and end up bankrupt? Well, let me tell you, because in the NFL, in the NBA, in the MLB, whatever sport you're playing, what they do is they spend money like they make it like that because they do. And then something happened and you still have bills like you make money like that. And if you making money and if you doing all of that kind of stuff and you spending money like that, charter flights, going to the Prada store or the Gucci store or whatever, and you dropping 10 grand because you want to go shopping or you want to take your girl to do something nice and you dropping 10 and 20 grand on a weekend. And when you drop that much money, you don't feel it. That's how people get in trouble because they live that lifestyle and then they tear their knee or they got traded or something happens or like Rashee Rice, you're going too fast in the Lamborghini and all of that kind of stuff. Now your life is ruined and that income stopped, but all of those bills you were creating and that lifestyle you were living, those bills don't instantly just drop off. You still got to pay off that house. You still got to pay off that car because ain't nobody buying cars. They put it on the bill. You still got to pay that accountant. You still got to pay that lawyer, all of that kind of stuff. And if you're making that type of money, you're not buying no cheap lawyer. If you having trouble, if you got baby mamas and all of that kind of drama, you're not getting somebody off the shelf. You know who you're going to talk to? One of your other teammates that make that type of money, that's got a lawyer that got him out of trouble. And if you got a lawyer that can get you out of trouble, he's expensive. Now throw all of that in the mix, and then all of a sudden, you don't play no more. Your income level drops from $5 million a year to nothing. Then you get into the questions. Did you save your money? Did you invest? Did you buy a business? Or did you get into a wrong business? There's a million different situations that you could look into. You look at John Sally. You look at Steve Harvey. You look at all of these entertainers and pro athletes that basically got took for their money. They got ripped off. And I'm saying all this to say, when people have money like that, you spend money like that. It's that simple. It's that simple. Listen, when I started, the NFL just started having the rookie symposiums. And they just had guys, former players that would come in and would talk to us as a team. They didn't have the whole thing where all of the rookies get together at some place and they play golf and I have a whole thing at a hotel, rookies only and all. They didn't have all of that. They just brought somebody and talked to us in Philly. Now they got a whole thing where the rookies meet up somewhere at a resort or a hotel or something, and they have people come and speak in different scenarios and different workshops and financial literacy and all that type of stuff. They didn't have that stuff before. And even with all of that, you still got somebody like Rashee Rice. You still got somebody like Deshaun Watson. You look at what happened with Dak having to go through all of that. And that's somebody that relatively kept their nose clean, but you still find trouble in these situations. And even saying that is as funny as I think it is, but I always got to give him props. After everything I just said, and you look at somebody like Travis Kelce, who was kind of a knucklehead anyways, and he done kept all of that situation with what's her name? With Taylor Swift, clean as a whistle. And he had no issues with it. And if it has been, it's been kept under wraps. However this finishes, he need to write a book. But you still got people getting in trouble and all that kind of stuff, man. So it never goes away. It is going to it's going to show its head. It's going to resurface at some point in time. So how many times do we have to situate? You look at what happened. You look at how Jalen Carter almost got caught up because he wanted to take a ride after the national championship game. You look at that kid. What's his name? His name is forgetting me. What's the kid that they kicked off the team right the week they were supposed to be traveling to the Super Bowl? Because the people where he went to school held that sexual assault case, and they held on to it until right before he was about to go to the Super Bowl. They had been holding on to this for almost 3 years or whatever. And he eventually gets exonerated, but he missed his opportunity. He missed his moment. He didn't go to the Super Bowl. He was stressing, all of that kind of stuff. So it's you got to be so very careful these days, man. You got to be careful. I don't understand why people gamble and bet and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, one above. I can't remember the dude's name. But I'm so glad I never got into all of that. I couldn't tell you the difference between a parlay and a pot pie. I don't know. I don't get down like that. So I've never had that itch to do that. Never. Bernard Williams came out when I played, bro. Hold on, I'll find out. Eagles. That was. Let me see. Josh Sills. Yeah, Bernard Williams. I believe he was in my draft class. I believe he was in 90 either 93 or 94. I think it was 93. He was a big offensive tackle. So, but I mean, I even with that, like you know, you just couldn't do it. You knew whether you agree with it or not. I saw a thing when they finally legalized marijuana and all of that kind of stuff, and they did a story. The guy had just got out of jail and got out of a car and took a picture on the side of the highway, and there was a big billboard for a marijuana dispensary. And he was like, that's what I went to jail for umpteen years for. And now it's everywhere. So, yeah, man. I mean, you got to be careful, man. Like I try to, if I was coming out as a rookie now, rookie league minimum is $780,000. So even if you don't make the team, or if you play for 1 year and you done, if you play your cards right, you should be okay for at least 2 years, 2 maybe 3 years, depending on what kind of mindset you got. But even if you make $780,000, how much is that after taxes? So, like I don't understand why everybody's so gung-ho on bringing their boys up and keeping it real with their homies and all of that kind of stuff. Man, hire one of your homies and you tell them every time we go to the club, you ain't drinking. Your job is to not drink, drive us everywhere we got to go, and keep a camera on you. Keep your camera phone on you just in case anything pops off. Your job ain't to get involved, nothing. Your job is to keep the camera rolling so I can keep it clean. Hire somebody to do that. Hire one of your boys to do that. So you got a situations. These young kids is getting into situations that ain't good, and they keep doing it. They keep doing it. Exactly. Project Baby, you 100% right. And like I said, them dudes on that lifestyle, and then they drop it. But them bills are still, when you got cut from that team, you didn't take the car back that same day. You can't just get out of that apartment. You can't do it. So, I don't understand some of the decisions these young people make, but that's not my riddle to solve. That's on them. And the funny thing now is they get all of this information, all of this education, all of this kind of stuff, all of it. And you got people still making the same mistake. Except here's the difference now. When you make a mistake, somebody will go on a podcast and talk about it. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. So, yeah, man, these young kids got to be careful, man. The betting is everywhere. When you throwing around money like that and you don't have to go to Vegas, and heck, when I was living in the city, I never thought they would have a casino down there. Because you just that was for Atlantic City. It wasn't for us. And You knew guys that went down there and spent money like that, but to have that type of stuff like right next door to the stadium, that place they got now down at the stadium where they got the betting place now, that I don't know if it's still down there where the Holiday Inn is. The Holiday Inn we used to where all the rookies used to stay when you used to come to rookie camp. It's just totally different down there now, and it's all betting. They all making the money. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with betting on the horses anymore. You ain't got to do that no more. So, and I do think it's kind of hypocritical that they spend so much time telling you not to bet, but every endorsement is FanDuel or Bet King or whatever they call. But that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast, man. So I remember because I've always been a nerd and always been into video games and all of that kind of stuff. Even today, I didn't even see that. Hey, Mom. My mom's in the building. Even with if I go to Atlantic City or if I go to Vegas or something like that, me and my wife take a trip, the first thing I'm going for is like the slot machines that look like video games. I love that stuff. I've always loved it. But I specifically remember when they first started doing online casinos, and most people were like, "Ain't no way I'm put my money in something like that. I don't trust it. I don't like it. That stuff went the same way that social media did." Because I remember when people used to laugh at social media, and now all of a sudden, you know, you got a social media ticker on CNBC and Good Morning America and all of that kind of stuff. They got a live Twitter feed. It's amazing how fast it's changed. So 88s, I'll see you later, bro. Back to work. So it's crazy, man. So Isaiah Rodgers is not reinstated. He still got a couple of weeks, as my man him put it. Hopefully in a couple of weeks after the June 19th date, he can get back into it. And depending on that, do you guys think that will affect the draft strategy any? You know what I'm saying? How is that gonna, all of my mock drafts, all of them, I have not let it be a secret that I want the first pick, the 2022 pick, to be Cooper DeJean. Period. That's who I want. So, but are they going to move up to get an offensive tackle? I still got some people got the Eagles taking an edge rusher at number 1 because it looks like we might be able to get that kid out of Florida State. Verse. So, I mean, everybody's got different opinions, but just the situation with this, with the cornerback, with Isaiah Rodgers, is that going to change things a little bit? I would imagine that, and I don't know this, but I would think that either somebody from the league office or somebody from the Eagles has tried to get into contact with the NFL or whatever, just to figure out where they sit. Because that's information you want to know, especially going into the draft. So, Bow 316, I'm with you, bro. They're going to get a cornerback no matter what. I just want to get a good cornerback. I just want to get a good one. Howie, he got a good one last year with Sidney Brown. I want to get another good one. Because you already know Maddox is gone next year. Slay is gone next year. And Bradbury, if we keep him, definitely is gone next year. So we still have to load up at secondary. And I'm okay with that. Because there's some good ones. Most of the drafts when I did not pick Cooper DeJean first, I ended up getting Kool-Aid McKinstry at that second pick. So we'll see how that works. I got my other monitor going. I got a mock draft going right now. So I think we'll get a good one. Wow, I'm with you 100%, man. Ringo, Ricks, Sidney Brown, Josh Jobe. Do we still have Josiah Scott? Or did we get rid of him? I can't remember. Because Josiah Scott last year was, that was rough. But he got better towards the end of the year, for sure. For sure, he got better. If I haven't mentioned it, I don't think I have. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe if you have not. If you are watching this on Twitter, if you are in the Twitter space, do me a solid. Mosey on over to YouTube and subscribe. If you need to go back to Twitter, I understand. But I would prefer and appreciate if you could watch me on YouTube. All right? Thank you. Please and thank you. Like right now, I'm running this mock draft. I can let y'all into this. Detroit wants to trade the 29th pick and 2025. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a next different year pick. Not happening. 43 and 74 from Atlanta. Nope, not doing that either. So we're going to reject all of them. And is Cooper DeJean available with this pick? No, Cooper DeJean is already gone. Did he move up? Brock Bowers. Oh, you know why? And I made this mistake before because Cooper DeJean is listed as a safety. What I tell you? Listed as a safety. So that would be my pick at 22. And then we got another pick at 50. And that is where Kitchens is still available. DJ James is who I would pick. Even with Carson available, I like DJ James. But that's not who I'm picking. Josiah Scott's in Pittsburgh. Gotcha. My second pick, this is where I would go offensive tackle. Patrick Paul, Rosengarten. I really like Rosengarten, but if you're talking about 6'7", 330, yeah, Patrick Paul, that boy from Houston, I'm going to take that. And then at 53 is when I take a linebacker. That's just me. Now, look, at 53, we still got all of these good linebackers left. Edge Cooper, Peyton Wilson, Cedric Gray, Colson, Wallace. All of these guys are good. All of these guys all the way down to Trot Jr. I don't think there's a bad pick in this group. Cooper, Wilson, Gray, Colson, Wallace, Trotter Jr., even James Williams out of Miami. There is not a bad pick with this group. Obviously, I'm going to go edge because that will be the guy I prefer. After this, we go all the way down to 161. At 161, I'm getting offensive guard. Coleman from TCU. Mason McCormick, South Dakota State. Zach Zenner still, he's got good numbers. But obviously, I'm going to go Brandon Coleman. And then I'm going to go back over to defense. Do I get a defensive tackle or do I get an edge? I'm trying to make this as simple as possible and go for need. I'm going to go D tackle. And I'm going to pick the kid out of, who's that? Out of Illinois. And then I'm going right back to Clemson. I like that edge from Washington. So would I skip Xavier Thomas and get him? I'm going to go with the best available. So now I got 172. I'm going to get a wide receiver. Or do I get a running back? I like big running backs. That's a good one. But I'm going to go ahead and go wide receivers. But I do not like small wide receivers. I don't think I'm not doing any trades or anything like that. I honestly don't think Howie's going to keep all these picks. I do not. Cornelius Johnson, 6'2", 212. That's my guy. And then we got one more pick, I believe, or is that it? I thought we got something at 200 something. I could be wrong. Nope, here we go. Now I'll get a running back. 5'10", 208. I'll take that. I'll take the kid from Boise State to close it out. I think that's the last one. So it all depends on what we're gonna do, man. We don't know what they're gonna do. And there you have it. This is my group. Cooper DeJean, Patrick Paul, Edge Cooper, Brandon Coleman, Keith Randolph Jr., Xavier Thomas, Cornelius Johnson, George Holani. So we got a lot of picks, and we got a lot of things that we can do. So I've tried to go through and do a couple trades, but trades are weird because you never know what somebody's going to try to do. The only time I do a trade is when if they're offering like 2 or 3 picks later and then something else like 170, 180 or something like that. As long as I can stay in the same range and they give it a couple other picks. Other than that, I'm not trying to trade for 2025 picks and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I think this is a good group. But it all depends on what happens on that first pick. Who we gonna go? Are they gonna try to move up and get somebody? I don't know. Do not know. But we getting close to that day, so we will find out. That's the big question. Who are the Eagles gonna target for their first pick? Are they gonna try to move up? Are they gonna try to stay at 22? What are they gonna do? I personally want Cooper DeJean, but my head is telling me that Howie, if he doesn't move up to get another offensive lineman, they're going to take Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. That's my projection. Yes, I will go live for the draft. I will be doing live reactions for the draft. Project Baby, yes, I will be live for the draft. That should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. So, because you're gonna get a whole bunch of I told you so's, and a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking about, and I love it when you get people like McShay and Mel Kiper that project like they know everything, and at the end of the day, I tell people this all the time. At the end of the day, they guessing like everybody else. They guessing like everybody else. They don't have any insider information. Nowadays, before you could say that because you don't know who Adam Schefter was calling. You don't know who Ian Rappaport was calling. None of that. Now, before they do anything else, they leaking it on their Twitter page. So everybody gets that information. So they guessing like everybody else. All them people that talked all that smack on Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, and heck, all the people that talk smack on damn Patrick Mahomes. So you just don't know. You just don't know. How many people said that they was going to drop everything for Brady Quinn? Drop everything from, go back and look at the prognostications for Tebow. You don't know, man. You never know till you get in the spot. Go back and look at the scouting report on Tom Brady. He looked like anything but an NFL quarterback. Go look at his combine photo where they just take the picture of you, no shirt with shorts on. Yeah, that's not an NFL quarterback. You never know. Brock Purdy, you never know. How many people missed on Brock Purdy and didn't have to? But you got that recipe though. You got that recipe. You got to be at the right place with the right coaches at the right time, or it ain't gonna work. If Patrick Mahomes is not with Eric Bieniemy and Big Red, does he win the Super Bowl? Is he that good? Trey Lance, absolutely, absolutely. If he doesn't get hurt, what is he doing now? Is Trey Lance the future of the Dallas Cowboys? Because clearly they don't want to pay Dak the money. It's a shame. All the stuff that Dak's done for that team, it ain't always been his fault. And you know, I don't like the Cowboys, but I'd like to keep it real with you. That ain't always Dak's fault. Jared Goff in Detroit. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. Or once. But the game in Detroit, he should have took Detroit to the Super Bowl. Is it his fault that his receiver dropped the pass? Is that really his fault? That's a shame. Watch Dak end up on the Giants. Oh my God, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. And you know what? It would be just like just like Dallas to sign Daniel Jones too. So you never know what's going to happen, man. But things do look a little crazy down in Dallas. I don't know what the hell they doing. I have no clue. No clue. But we'll find out. We're gonna learn today. Oh, looking at my notes here. I know it's not you. It ain't you. But can some of these fans please chill out? Because AJ Brown said he likes Tom Brady. Like, what the hell are you getting bent out of shape for? You get all these Eagles fans that are all in their feelings because the man said he likes Tom Brady, the most winningest quarterback in NFL history. What's the problem? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's the problem? And I put some of these people in the same category as the same people that's talking about they got an issue with Jalen Hurts' personality and he might need to change some things or do something different. And it's like, no, let the man like who he like. His personality is his personality. Did nobody have a problem with Jalen's personality when he was running for all them touchdowns in 22 and got us to the Super Bowl and showed out in the game when everybody told him he couldn't handle it? A quarterback like that is never going to get you to the Super Bowl, let alone win it. People don't know. Leave folks alone. Let them run it the way they want to run it. Them same people that were so happy when we got rid of CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't like his attitude. He talks too much. I don't like that type of player. Yeah, he's a cancer in the locker room. All of that crazy kind of stuff that they was talking. Just totally pushing to the side that the man was tied for the league in interceptions and balled out when he was here. To his detriment. Throwing his body around like that. We get selective outrage. You get mad when they ain't when you think they ain't down with us no more. And it's like, at least Jalen ain't betting on games. Yeah, facts. I don't get some of the fandom sometimes. It's like because of social media, people are looking for something to talk about. It's not even relevant. It's not even relevant. I can't remember who it was a couple years ago. When it was somebody that shot some commercials and he didn't have a good year. And somebody brings up the fact that, well, if you weren't shooting so many commercials, maybe you could concentrate on your game. And it's like, man, they shot them commercials months ago, before camp, before all of that. And you just want something to say. Social media has made some of the toughest fans very, very thin-skinned. And some people on social media like to use another word, like a little cat. But, yeah, I'm not going to say that right now. But was it Baker Mayfield? I don't think so. I don't think it was Baker Mayfield. But I would understand that sentiment. I would understand that sentiment. Fandom tried to curtail OBJ's career because he took that picture on the boat. On the boat. Remember he took that picture with all the receivers and all them dudes down there in Miami. And ever since that picture came out, ain't nothing been the same. And they love to reference that every chance they get. And I'm like, they ain't got nothing to do with what you do on the field. Something that happened 2 or 3 months ago. But people will bring it up every chance they get. If you go back now, you look at that span of time where everybody was on AJ Brown because he didn't want to talk to the media. And you look at now, after it's done had time to settle in and you're not about the nonsense anymore, go back and look at the video clips from that time and look at how everybody was going nuts and look at all of the stories that came out at that time. AJ Brown didn't want to talk to the media. The locker room was split. They didn't like Sirianni had lost the locker room. Jalen Hurts wasn't being an effective leader. He was talking down on some of the young guys. And you had all of this stuff coming up. And I used to sit back and laugh. And I'm like, y'all don't have any idea what happens in the locker room. Where are y'all getting this stuff? That's when I started that campaign about we gotta call Carmen Sandiego and figure out if we can find out who this guy named Sources is. Because he be coming out with a whole lot of stories. And he has nothing vetted. He has no facts. I never understood that at all. And you look at that span of time, all of these stories were coming out. And it's like, what the hell are y'all talking about, man? Like, I don't get it. So, leave that stuff alone. Stop being so thin-skinned. If you worried about AJ Brown saying he likes Tom Brady, if you worried about Jalen Hurts treating some of the rookies badly, you in the wrong city, man. You in the wrong city. You need to be out there in San Francisco where they sensitive and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't understand what it was, man, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, baby, that was funny. So, yeah, man, stop worrying about that stuff, man. I still want to try to figure out what Howie's priority is. I'm going to do a mock draft almost every day this week until we get to the draft. So that's coming. It was, we got choices to make. I think he's going to move up. And I think it will be my heart wants Cooper DeJean, but my head is telling me he's going to get an offensive tackle. So, John, you just getting in. Isaiah Rodgers was not reinstated, but somebody in the chat named him made mention that he got suspended in June. So it won't be a calendar year until June. And that makes sense. So maybe that's why he was not reinstated yet. Hasn't been a year yet. So, but we'll find out. We'll see. We still got a long way to go. Well, not that long. But and while we are on, I'm gonna switch sports, but I'm gonna kind of stay it in the same topic when we're talking about selective outrage. What we get mad about. I am, and I've said this to you guys before, I have been fully invested in the women's NCAA tournament, being a Dawn Staley fan, knowing she a Philly girl, all of that kind of stuff. And going forward to the WNBA draft, I live streamed reactions to the WNBA draft the other day. It was great time, had fun doing it. But immediately after the draft, obviously Caitlin Clark went number one. Everybody starts talking about the salaries. And now everybody's outraged that the salaries, it doesn't make sense. The women are not getting paid enough. And my question is, where were y'all 3 and 4 years ago when they was getting paid the same amount of money and they was having the same problems? Nobody cared about it back then. The only reason people are caring about it now, or let me say it like this, it's not like they didn't care. They didn't care. The only reason they are bringing it up now is because now it is a hot topic. It can get you clicks. It can get you traffic. Your click-through rate is super high because you're talking about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, all these people on these TV shows talking about it, ain't none of them bought a lick of merch. So I thought that was funny. So, yeah, it's just wanted to bring that up. The WNBA hate and all of that kind of stuff. So everybody got a story now because now it's front page news. Caitlin Clark just signed with Nike. She got that $24 million deal. That girl getting paid. And it's not going to stop. So I am looking forward to 2025. Definitely going to watch this year, but in 2025, the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement, their CBA comes up. Collective bargaining agreement comes up. And now they're going to, well, they should be able to spend some of the money that they've been making, and they will have a record year, in my opinion, across the board because of all of the stuff going on with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso, Aaliyah Edwards, all of these girls that got drafted. They are bringing their social media presence to the league the same way that The Rock signed that kicker Destroying, and he brought his 5 million followers to the UFL. It's the same thing, and that is good business. That is good business. I don't want to, she was great for the game, but I don't want to see Diana Taurasi throwing shade anymore. Diana Taurasi's 42 years old. I need to see the young guns. It's their time. People are following them. If Diana Taurasi and Lisa Leslie and Caitlin Clark all walked in the room together, who do you think everybody's going to first? You can't be a gatekeeper if you're trying to keep the gate closed. You got to open it up. You got to let the new crop come in, and you just got to watch it and let it happen. It's unfortunate that you won't be able to make to be a part of the money that they are making, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Me and Barrett Brooks was talking about it. Barrett was telling me his first contract was like 1.4 for 3 years or something like that. He said he got like he was talking about he got like a $485,000 signing bonus and didn't understand who FICA was. Because he said he flipped over his check because he expected more money on the back of it. Just being young and not understanding what was going on. But still, man, you got these girls that are going to be able to make that type of money. The salaries are probably going to go up in 25 or 26. That's my prediction. But as far as the money that the WNBA is going to make, obviously, the Indiana Fever are going to break records because everywhere this girl goes to play, as long as she's healthy, they're going to sell out. So, but yo, John, check out the video. Everybody check out the video I just did on the WNBA. It's on my channel. Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, she got a plan. I got a clip from her. She was on CNBC, and she mentions having her bird magic moment. She mentions that. And that's exactly what it is with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Now, whether they take that rivalry and run with it, because once Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso were drafted for the same team, immediately, what do? I go to Chicago Sky and I go to Indiana Fever. When do y'all play each other? They play each other 3 times. Twice in June, and I forget what the other date is. It's before June. Those games are going to be the biggest games because everybody wants to see them play. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how this plays itself out because the WNBA, they're going to have to play politics to continue to make this money. Kathy Engelbert has a plan. Every time she talks, she sounds smart, like she know what the hell she's doing. She has a business plan looking ahead 10 and 20 years in the future. But they got to establish and make the money now. The WNBA is set for the next 5 years. And what I mean by that is I can tell you, and I'm saying this because I couldn't do this a year ago. I didn't give a shit about the WNBA. Now I do because I'm invested because I watched the NCAA tournament and I watched Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Isaiah James and Malaysia Wiley and Tess Johnson and Hannah Hidalgo and Lauren Betts and Kate Beckers and Juju Watkins. I watched all of them girls. I could not name any of those people last year. None of them. And the match, the spark that flew into that powder keg was the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese moment. You know what I'm talking about. That's what sparked it. Was some of it got into the racial realms of it? Absolutely. But the same thing happened with Bird and Magic back in the day. Magic went to Michigan State. Bird went to Indiana State. Indiana State wasn't a basketball school, but he took them to the finals. Lakers and Celtics fans can't stand each other to this day because of Magic and Bird. And that is the same exact situation that the WNBA finds themselves in right now, if they cultivate it. And you already know Bird and Magic didn't hate each other, but that team rivalry was real. And they got that right now. So they got the Twin Towers in Chicago. Angel Reese is 6'3", Camila Cardoso is 6'7". Both them girls gonna be on the blocks. But they gotta the WNBA gotta play some politics. They gotta make sure that Angel Reese, Cardoso, Caitlin Clark, they gotta make sure they on the court when they play each other. Because that's what everybody want to see. I'm gonna buy my merch. I'm gonna get my hat. I already saw the hat I'm gonna get. It's the Indiana Fever hat, but the font looks like Stranger Things. So I was like, that's dope. That's dope. And I've heard people say this before. It's been going along on social media and stuff like that because everybody, I don't know if you've seen the one clip of, it's a close-up of Caitlin Clark, and then it shows, she has a $1 million deal, but it's a 4-year deal. So she's not, I don't know how much she's making. And I don't think it is $1 million deal. It's whatever it is. No, hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Because I know I posted that. This is the hat, though. That's the hat with the Stranger Things font. I'm digging that. So I'm definitely gonna buy that. But what was? Let me see. There we go. This was it. And then you got Angel Reese's. Same contract. 338. Angel Reese got what? 324? Yeah. So it's basically the same contract. But you look at 2024, 76.5, 2025, 78, 2026, 85.8, 2027, 97. So in her first 4 years under her first contract, she ain't even gonna make over $100,000 base salary. But of course, she done eclipsed all of that with her endorsement deals because she's getting paid from State Farm. State Farm ain't going nowhere. Shoot, State Farm was the State Farm dude was in the pictures. He took a picture with the whole class. So State Farm, if they were smart, all of them girls in the WNBA would have State Farm insurance. That would make sense. The games, I believe, you can buy like a WNBA package. I think it's like $37. I might get that. I might find a jersey. I have to talk to her. I got to talk to my granddaughter, see if she want a WNBA jersey. I'll buy the merch, support them like that. I saw one topic. It was on Twitter. Somebody said something. I don't even remember what was said. But the quote got like a 1.4 million views. And I was like, just imagine if all them people that reacted to this post bought some merch. So back to the selective outrage thing, everybody outraged about this. And it's like all the people that's coming on these talk shows and Good Morning America and I'm so upset and it's not fair and blah, blah, blah. I was like, y'all didn't say nothing 3, 4, 5 years ago. I know where I sit. I wasn't worried about it. I told you that. But now I'm invested. So I can look at it realistically. So which is why I say I'm gonna buy merch. That's how you support. Don't buy the bootleg stuff, buy the real deal. I'm gonna watch games to make sure they get the viewership and all of that kind of stuff. But this is the NCAA tournament showed you that you don't have to lower the rim so the girls can dunk and all of that other kind of nonsense they were trying to do. Let the girls just play ball. But you got to have some good ball, though. You got to have some good ball. I know that there's a video clip that came out, and I don't know who was playing, but it was 2 of the WNBA teams, and it was just about like 6 or 7 turnovers in a row in the same swing of time. Nobody can make a bucket, and it was kind of ugly. So they got to change the way they play. You saw the girl at the NBA All-Star game that shot threes with Steph Curry. That was fun to watch. That girl can shoot. Kelsey Plum still crossing folks over. So they're in a good shot, man. They're in a good spot. They're definitely in a good spot. But before we get into all of that, I just want this NFL draft to get here, man. That's what I'm most excited about. So it will be fun. It will be fun. How many people we rocking? Most people on Twitter right now. I got 74 people on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, please switch over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button for me. I would appreciate it. Caitlin and Sabrina versus Staff, and I don't want to know who else this year. An all-star 3-point shooting. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I mean, you got it out there. One of the smartest things I saw was when Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark that $5 million to play in the Big Three. You knew she wasn't going to the damn Big Three. You knew she wasn't. And let me be honest with you. If she did go to the Big Three, she may have lost endorsements because of that. So she did right. And Ice Cube had nothing to lose. He made that offer knowing she wasn't going to accept it. But you know what? Big Three was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. It was all on social media. It was trending. So as a marketing ploy, bravo, Ice Cube. You did what you were supposed to do. Everybody was talking about it. So they're in a good spot. And I'm saying that, again, I'm saying this as somebody that didn't care about the WNBA last few years. The only time I watched WNBA, I watched a little bit when Kelsey Mitchell came out. And I told you why. That was a personal thing. She was from my high school. I played college football with her dad, all of that kind of stuff. So it was a personal investment in that because you want to see the homegirl do well and all of that kind of stuff. Other than that, I didn't watch Taurasi. I didn't really watch Lisa Leslie. The only time I really watched, like way in the past, was back when Dawn Staley was playing. The Cheryl Swoops was still playing. And not because of the WNBA, is because they were fresh off winning the gold medal. When the men won the gold medal. And then that team was on Martin. Martin was the hottest show. So they were the hottest thing, in the country at the time. So, they're going to take advantage of it. And they should, but they're going to have to play a little politics. Some people going to get their feelings hurt because there's probably some of these girls that are going to start. And they have to do that because they're the faces now. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. It ain't Kelsey Plum. It ain't Diana Taurasi. It ain't what's the other girl? What's the other girl from UConn? I can't think of her name. The fact that I can't think of her name should tell you. I want to say Sue Bird, but it's not Sue Bird. It's the other girl that like won 4 championships for UConn. And UConn was the powerhouse. UConn for a minute was college basketball's Patriots or what the Chiefs are doing right now. Couldn't nobody beat them. And when you have that, you get people that get tired of seeing the same team win. And that's when people hate UConn. Just like when I was in college, I hated Duke because Duke, we used to always go to the Final Four, and it seemed like Duke was always winning. But it'll be interesting. I will be watching. So I will put my donation in for the ratings and all of that kind of stuff. I'm gonna help out. Thank you, Chris. Brianna Stewart. You are correct, sir. Brianna Stewart. But I'll never have I turned on the WNBA or searched for a game so I could watch Brianna Stewart or Kelsey Plum. The only time I did that, I was like, I'm going to find this so I can support Kelsey Mitchell. And who does she play for? Indiana. So you get Indiana has 2 of the top 3 scorers in NCAA history on the same team. And I think another girl on there was Rookie of the Year or something. I think she set some kind of record. I got to look that up again in the WNBA. But they got shooters on that team. But Caitlin Clark is putting butts in seats. She is the Tiger Woods effect. She got people interested in women's basketball that didn't care last year. I'm one of them. I will be watching Chicago. I will be watching Indiana. And what's the other girl? What's her name? Can't think of her name right now. Cool. Kuhl. I can't remember who she got drafted by. She's the one I want to watch too. So, and of course, next year, who's coming out next year? Kate Beckers. Kate Beckers can ball. I want to see her go to the league. I just hope she stays healthy. So, fun time to watch, man. I love this season. The Eagles are still hot in the news. The WNBA is on the rise. Flyers, too bad. 76ers are just doing Joel Embiid is just doing some incredible stuff right now. Props to him. I hope he stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy and gets past New York. And then the Phillies are hitting the ball. That's all I want right now. It's still too early to be complaining about the damn Phillies. Stop doing that, man. Stop doing that. Let's see where we are. Major League Baseball, Phillies. (11-8). So they've had 19 games. And I always say, I'm not going to worry about the Phillies until they get to at least 25 games. Once they do that, then we can start talking. It doesn't matter what Atlanta does. It doesn't matter what the Mets do. None of this matters right now with less than 25 games. And when you got 160-something game season, stop playing. Stop playing. In the hot start, cold start. Everybody was complaining last year that the sky was falling with the Phillies and they just made it to the World Series. It was like, nah, stop playing. Just let them get warmed up. Let the weather get warm, and we can get something started. So people worry too much. Need something to talk about. And it's unnecessary. Every 10 Phillies game is one Eagles game. Yeah, I agree with you. And shoot, not for nothing. Don't forget the Philadelphia Union went to the championship last year and lost. It's crazy. It was crazy. So give us some time, man. Give us some time. We in good shape. Don't worry about it. So, but yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here. I'm gonna do some more mock drafts. And we'll find out. I don't know. Normally I stream on Fridays late, like at 9:30. So check my channel to keep posted. I'm in Facebook jail right now for some reason. I don't Facebook, if they restrict you, it's only for 2 days, but when they do that, they don't tell you exactly what they did it for. So I was trying to figure that out, and I don't know, man. But I'm trying to focus, and that's why you guys will hear me on my social media, on my Twitter, and on my TikTok. I'm telling people, like, catch me on YouTube, because Facebook is unreliable, and we don't know what Twitter's going to do in the future. So I'm trying to gatekeep, and I'm trying to signpost everybody to YouTube. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Good conversation, man. We rolled for about an hour and almost 20 minutes. So Cody K, I appreciate you. Bow 316 as usual, my guy. John Malmos, I appreciate you. Who else was in here? Project Baby. Don't be a stranger, bro. I appreciate you. 316 was in the building. I think I said you already. Philly, my dude. 88, back at work. Thank you for joining me, Mom. One above all, getting it in there. So, and I can't remember who said that, but I will figure out how to do the wrenches. We'll get you a wrench. So, got to figure out how to do that. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy your evening. Have a good weekend. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, go Birds.